Welcome to this presentation of what's new in SAFe 6.0, thriving in the digital age with business agility. The SAFe framework is based on a huge body of knowledge: lean thinking, lean product development, systems engineering, and Agile, to name just a few. And it continues to evolve as we unlock better ways of working. That's our mission here at Scaled Agile. And this mission continues with the release of SAFe 6.0, the latest evolution of the SAFe framework. So why SAFe 6.0? Well, the unprecedented times of the pandemic have really driven home a reality that's been decades in the making. Enterprises are simply overwhelmed by the constant change around them. But it's not just technology that's fueling the winds of change. Everything from climate change, pandemics, political conflicts to the global economy and supply chain issues are impacting our ability to successfully run our businesses. Even the largest digital natives face disruption now. And SAFe 6.0 is significant. It's different. It's going to really challenge everyone to be more agile in their work, to accelerate the flow of value, to operate more efficiently, and to deliver better outcomes for the business, their users, and their customers. Now, it's easiest to think of SAFe 6.0 in terms of 6 major release themes. You can see them on the slide here. And in this presentation, we'll go through each of these themes in turn and highlight the key points. But before we get there, let's take a look at the brand new SAFe 6.0 big picture. Now, in this release, all the articles have been updated with better clarity and additional guidance. SAFe 6.0 also includes brand new areas of IP that I'll highlight throughout the presentation. And finally, as you can see, the look and feel of the big picture has also been updated to help create a unified experience across all of the Scaled Agile assets and resources. So let's start with theme 1, strengthening the foundation for business agility. Everything moves fast in the digital age. Customer desires, competitive threats, technology choices, business expectations, revenue opportunities, and workforce demands now happen at blistering speeds. To address these challenges, business agility is what is needed. And the fundamental aspects of business agility, including the business agility value stream and the SAFe foundations, are substantially updated in SAFe 6.0 to improve support for working differently and building the future. Updates to the SAFe implementation roadmap and revised responsibilities for SPCs help to clarify the path for navigating the change towards this goal of business agility. So let's start by looking at the business agility value stream. Now, the business agility value stream was present in SAFe 5 as an extended guidance topic article, but it's now been elevated to the top of the big picture. Simply put, the business agility value stream describes the steps needed to go from sensing an opportunity to delivering a digitally enabled business solution. In order to thrive in the digital age, traditional enterprises need to master the business agility value stream, a process used to quickly respond to emerging opportunities. Now, although this is no trivial undertaking to accelerate value in this way, the business agility value stream helps enterprises respond to market shifts at speeds that traditional stage-gated waterfall methods won't achieve. And the business agility value stream is underpinned by the 7 core competencies of business agility. Indeed, it provides the why behind these core competencies, and it's the primary way that we explain the goal of SAFe in a manner that's simple and easy to consume. And now some changes to the SAFe foundation, starting with continuous learning culture. Continuous learning culture has been a core competency in SAFe for some time, but in SAFe 6.0, we've added it to the foundation. And what that means is, regardless of the configuration of SAFe that you may be implementing, it will always include continuous learning culture. The reason we made this change is because we truly believe that continuous learning culture represents the management paradigm of the future. Organizations that invest in things like becoming a learning organization, relentless improvement, and innovation will build the resiliency they need to adapt to anything thrown at them in the digital age. Additionally, a slight redesign to the SPC icon has been made to emphasize that these individuals play a role both in coaching alongside training. Let's now look at some updates to the Lean Agile mindset. Now, everything, of course, starts with the Lean Agile mindset. The Lean Agile mindset is what forms a new way of working within every SAFe enterprise and helps to drive the cultural change needed for a successful SAFe implementation. It's supported by extensive research and case studies over many, many decades. And this mindset is underpinned by two primary bodies of knowledge, lean thinking and agile development. Agile was very much a response to more traditional ways of working, which led to the emergence of more iterative development methods in the 90s. And the beliefs and values shown on the right-hand side of this slide, created in 2001, really clarified the benefits of this new approach and helped to drive their adoption. Now, initially derived from lean manufacturing, the principles and practices of lean thinking have been successfully applied since to product and systems development. And when applying lean thinking to product development, we shift from the more traditional start-stop project mentality to a focus on continuous flow, delivering the maximum value to the customer in the shortest possible time. Now, in SAFe 6.0, we've replaced the House of Lean by the lean thinking principles from the book of the same name by Womack and Jones, as these principles really embed product and value stream thinking in the core of everything we do. We start by identifying value in terms of the products that we deliver, and we identify the value streams for these products. We then focus on flow and let the customer pull value from us. In other words, we don't produce things that are not valuable to our customers. And of course, we pursue perfection in both our processes and our products. And critically, you can see that by adopting a lean agile mindset, the concept of a value stream, which is central to SAFe, becomes a key starting point for all SAFe enterprises. Now, at its core, SAFe places the highest value on its four core values shown on the slide here: alignment, transparency, respect for people, and relentless improvement. Now, two of these, respect for people and relentless improvement, have been elevated to the most prominent position in SAFe as part of the SAFe 6.0 release. Respect for people, of course, is a basic human need. Treating people respectfully unlocks their intrinsic motivation to learn and grow, evolve their practices, and contribute to their business and customer outcomes. And critically, anyone who consumes our work is treated as a customer and someone we want to build a long-term partnership with. Relentless improvement also became a SAFe core value, since the relentless pursuit of perfection has always been one of the core tenets of lean. While unattainable, striving for perfection leads to continuous improvements of products, services, and processes. Also in SAFe 6.0, we've updated SAFe Principle 6, which is now stated as make value flow without interruptions, as this is directly aligned with the 5 principles of lean thinking that you saw previously. Now, of course, this principle has always been about flow, with its focus on working process, batch size, and queue lengths. But now this focus has been expanded to 8 properties that pertain to any flow-based system and the related 8 flow accelerators that can be used to improve flow at all levels of the framework. We'll come back to this in theme 3. And there were also some important updates to the implementation roadmap in SAFe 6.0, and I'll run through these briefly here. The first one is that the waterfall ad hoc agile step was removed as the starting point, since we're starting to see other starting points for SAFe enterprises beginning on their journey. The SAFe Executive Workshop Toolkit was added to the Go SAFe step to emphasize its importance of helping to get the enterprise to the tipping point. And a brand new step, Leading the Digital Age, was added. Leading the Digital Age is a program that equips leaders with the knowledge and skills to support their agile teams and manage change effectively. The Organize Around Value step was renamed from the Identify Arts and Value Streams to reflect its purpose and its strong connection to SAFe Principle 10. And the SAFe Value Stream and Art Identification Workshop Toolkit was connected to this step to show that this is the critical workshop that you use to organize your value streams and arts effectively. The Enhance the Portfolio was renamed. Previously, it was called Extend to the Portfolio. This change was done to reflect the fact that many organizations have begun their LPM journey previously to this step, and so at this point, they're enhancing their portfolio practices rather than extending to the portfolio for the first time. And finally, the Accelerate step, which emphasizes that the transformation journey is never ending, has a brand new article. This article provides further guidance for adopting a lean agile mindset and amplifying the benefits of applying the 5 lean thinking principles across the enterprise. And finally, in this theme, some updates to the SPC article. And firstly, a change to the acronym. SPCs now stand for SAFe Practice Consultants, as part of our move to phase out the term program, more on this later, and since they provide the coaching for many of the practices and critical moves described in the SAFe implementation roadmap. And secondly, alongside all the other role-based articles in SAFe 6.0, the key responsibility areas of an SPC are now shown via a responsibility wheel, which you can see on the slide here. an easy to grasp visualization of the areas of focus. Note that in this case, it is SPCs plural in the center of the wheel, since it's acknowledged that it will often take a team to cover all of these responsibility areas. So let's go through them briefly. Embodying a lean agile mindset. SPCs lead change conversations across multiple business departments and organizational hierarchies. So to be credible and effective, they must speak with knowledge and competence. In addition, to inspire changes in the behaviors of others, SPCs must first create this change in themselves. Leading the change. SPCs know the job that must be done to achieve the change vision. They communicate the business need, the urgency, and vision for change with the assistance of critical, safe training and other assets that are purpose-built to provide a proven path to organizational change. SPCs know how to apply the right asset at the right moment, utilizing the full breadth of SAFe as their implementation toolkit. And then, of course, implementing SAFe. The implementation roadmap assists SPCs in the tactical steps they require to lead the change, ensuring that each next step is done without ignoring the previous changes that may still require attention. Treating every implementation as if it were their first, SPCs transfer their enthusiasm, energizing the new participants, and in doing so, SPCs apply and often lead many of the critical moves of the SAFe implementation roadmap. And then coaching flow. Flow is a huge overarching theme of SAFe 6.0. We'll come back to this shortly. But SPCs have a critical role in enabling all members of an organization to understand the flow of value and how to make value flow without interruptions. And finally, of course, accelerating business agility. SPCs keep the long-term business agility vision moving. They help to enable business agility not by over-optimizing a piece of the system, but by optimizing the system as a whole. Additionally, SPCs are looking for opportunities to measure and cultivate competencies at all levels. They're running workshops, they're fostering training opportunities, and of course, they're assisting new SPCs in their roles. And now on to the second theme, empowering teams and clarifying responsibilities. As we know, nothing beats an agile team, and further enhancing performance requires clearer and more explicit responsibilities for each SAFe role. So in SAFe 6.0, we're delighted to announce that new and improved guidance is provided to help people improve their job performance and better support the organization's goals. Now, implementing SAFe requires a change in the roles that individuals are fulfilling, and organizations that successfully support their people in moving to these new roles are the ones that are most likely to succeed. So with that in mind, we asked ourselves, for every role in the big picture, what are the key responsibility areas for that role to be successful? And then we've illustrated these through what we call responsibility wheels, immediately bringing more clarity around the work to be done for someone to be successful in these roles. Underneath each of these responsibility areas shown in the responsibility wheels are a set of responsibilities clearly laid out so people can truly understand what they need to do to be successful. And I've got some examples of these responsibility wheels on the next few slides. Let's look at this one first for an agile release train. It identifies 5 key areas that will help ensure success. The first one, connecting with the customer. Customers are our ultimate beneficiaries of the business solutions that the arts are creating and maintaining. But connecting with the customer requires deliberate effort and a clear understanding of how to apply lean and agile practices in a unique art context. And the article is going to explain how this can be achieved. The second responsibility area, planning the work. Planning crucial activities for an art enables alignment across teams and stakeholders in terms of what and how to build within the next time box. Alignment, of course, is one of the core values of SAFe, and arts, as a building block of a SAFe organization, have a built-in means for achieving and sustaining this alignment. And then delivering value. Arts develops solution features by applying a cadence that involves key activities to keep the train on the tracks. At certain points, the art will release the newly created value to the customer. And then getting feedback. We know that getting fast feedback is the primary component of an art's high development velocity. The speed comes from learning and the ability to adapt. Technology feedback, of course, results from integration and testing, as well as running things like technical spikes. But you also get feedback on the product, which comes from the customer and the business stakeholders. And then finally, improving relentlessly. An art seeks to continuously improve productivity in delivering customer value. Naturally, the process requires measuring different aspects of art operations and identifying areas for improvement. So we hope you find this way of categorizing the key responsibility areas extremely effective as you support your arts and individuals in adopting these new ways of working. And let's have a look at an individual role-based responsibility wheel now. And here's an example from the Scrum Master Team Coach role. And the thing to note first, of course, is that in SAFe 6.0, we now have an alternative title provided for the Scrum Master, Team Coach. And we've done that for a very simple reason. What we're seeing is that some organizations are not choosing Scrum as a team methodology for all teams. Some teams may be implementing Kanban, for example. So now there's a simple choice. They can call this role the Scrum Master, or they can call it the Team Coach. So let's briefly look at these responsibility areas for the Scrum Master Team Coach. And it starts with facilitating PI planning. We've called out the essential role they play in helping to support PI planning alongside the other Scrum Masters and Team Coaches and alongside the RTEs, and of course, actively involved in helping their team work effectively during that PI planning event. They support the Agile teams in achieving their iteration goals during the iteration execution, but they also have a key focus on improving flow, helping the team significantly improve their flow of work, eliminating bottlenecks, delays, and waste. And then, of course, building high-performing teams is another key responsibility area for Scrum Masters and Team Coaches. Creating healthy Agile teams is essential to creating high-value increments of working solutions. Fortunately, many of the ingredients for high-performing teams are built directly into SAFe by design. And finally, of course, they contribute to improving art performance, helping the Agile teams improve the overall performance of the art through supporting events such as Inspect and Adapt. In addition to these responsibility wheels, we've also added additional guidance around collaboration. Now, collaboration is key, of course, in any Agile approach. And there are some key roles on the big picture where collaboration is truly important for them to be successful. Roles such as system and solution architect, roles such as product and solution management. So for those 4 roles as a start, we asked ourselves very carefully, what key collaborations do we need to be successful? And the brand new articles describe and visualize these. Let me give you an example. If we look at the product management role, we know that they have to collaborate with product owners to help them develop the solutions. But they also have to collaborate with the RTE and the system architect to help steer the train. And finally, of course, they have to collaborate with the business owners and customers to align on outcomes. All of these are now captured in these role-based articles. And by using this guidance, you can help to understand whether your collaborations are working effectively, and if not, take the action needed to put those collaborations into place. And that concludes the second theme. So let's now move on to the third theme. Now, being competitive in today's fast-paced world means accelerating value flow is an essential survival skill in the digital age. Therefore, accelerating value flow is our third theme of SAFe 6.0 and the overarching theme of the entire release. Now, over the last few years, as we've developed SAFe 6.0, we spent a lot of time thinking about flow and how we can accelerate flow. It's important to point out, of course, that SAFe is a flow-based framework. Whether it's teams delivering stories and iterations, or epics progressing through the portfolio, you can see flow at every single level. But we started to ask ourselves, what are the properties of every flow-based system? And we realized very clearly that there are 8 such properties you can see on the slide here, regardless of where the flow is taking place. Things like batch size, queues, work in process, or even the people doing the work. And once we understood that, it unlocked the possibility for us to develop some powerful guidance around how we can accelerate the flow of value. And that's what you see on the slide here. Because once we truly understood those properties of flow, we also knew how we could address those properties to improve flow. So what we have in SAFe 6.0 is a system for safe enterprises that starts with diagnosing flow through the flow metrics, next, identifying problems by understanding those 8 properties, and then finally taking the necessary action to improve flow through what we call the 8 flow accelerators. And you can see these on the slide here. And these are the remediating actions, the tools, if you like, that enterprises have available in SAFe 6.0 to correct and improve flow at every level of the organization. Things like address bottlenecks, things like get faster feedback, things like optimizing time and zone to ensure everyone is working at the highest levels of productivity. Now, the other thing that we've done, importantly, is to take these 8 flow accelerators and to apply them through the 4 articles that you can see on the slide here: team flow, art flow, solution train flow, and portfolio flow, at each level of the framework. And these articles describe specifically how to apply these 8 flow accelerators at these levels. Each article offers techniques for addressing, optimizing, and debugging issues with flow at that specific level of the framework. And we hope you find these articles very practical as you look to accelerate flow within your enterprises. Related to flow, we also have a brand new Safe Team Kanban article. Now, Safe Team Kanban, of course, is a lean agile method that helps agile teams facilitate the flow of value by visualizing workflow, establishing work in process limits, delivering value continuously, measuring throughput, and of course, improving their process on an ongoing basis. The Safe Team Kanban article has been renamed from Kanban to Safe Team Kanban and significantly revised in this release of the framework to explain specifically how to use Kanban for safe teams, which operate as part of a larger art. It describes the roles, it describes the events, it describes how to work effectively alongside other teams. And of course, this will then provide the guidance needed for those teams who select Kanban as their methodology, often teams whose work is more responsive in nature. And of course, many times we see teams combining Scrum and Kanban to use the best of both methods. And with that in mind, the Safe Scrum article has also had some important changes. Safe Scrum is now the name of this article, replacing Scrum XP, as the XP-inspired practices have now been moved into the built-in quality article. In addition, the Scrum keystone image that you can see on the slide here has been enhanced to really illustrate how a team within Safe is working as part of a larger system. Some of the work, of course, that this team is doing will be coming from the features alongside their local context. And of course, at the end of each iteration, the teams must take part in a system demo as they iterate towards their PI objectives. Note also that the icons previously on the big picture for plan, review, retro, and execute have now been removed, and these articles can now be accessed directly from the Safe Scrum article itself. Now, in Safe 6.0, there are Kanban systems at every level of the framework. I'll say more on this later. And these are critical to visualizing, managing the flow of work. And therefore, we're delighted to announce a brand new extended guidance article to go alongside this release, applying Kanban in Safe. And this article describes the elements of a Kanban board, how to create one that supports the steps in your value stream, and importantly, how to apply things such as classes of service to maximize flow. This article has great practical guidance for creating Kanban systems at every level of the framework. We hope this will offer you some practical support. Now, one thing I'm very excited to show you is the brand new approach that we're taking in Safe 6.0 to built-in quality. What we started to realize is that depending on the domain that you work within, built-in quality can look very different. So for example, if you're working in a business function versus building a software application, developing IT systems, or even working in a hardware or cyber physical domain, you're going to be applying different built-in quality practices. What we did realize, however, is that in addition to this, there are a set of basic agile quality practices that apply regardless of the domain that you work in. And you can see these on the left-hand side of the slide. So things like shift learning left, peer review and pairing, automation, they work well regardless of the type of work that you do, and we encourage you to put these in place. But specifically, for example, if you're developing IT applications, things like cybersecurity will be a concern. This may not be a concern if you're working in a business function. So this new guidance, the new IP that sits within this article, allows us to provide specific recommendations, context-specific recommendations to the domain that you work within. And we hope you enjoy and engage with these recommendations in the new article. Now, in Safe 6.0, we've also added value stream management as an icon within the portfolio on the big picture. But of course, it's worth pointing out that since version 2.5, we recognize value streams within Safe and the important role that they play in helping to maximize the value we deliver to our customers. Value stream management is a leadership and technical discipline that helps to enable the maximum flow of business value through the end-to-end solution delivery lifecycle. Now, of course, today, delivering digitally enabled solutions in large enterprises is often very complex. It often spans many functional boundaries. And consequently, this structure can result in a fragmented delivery process with multiple handoffs, cross-team dependencies, breakdowns in communication, and substantial delays. The purpose of value stream management is to bring order to this chaos so that we can really focus on producing and maximizing value, so that we can deliver that value smoothly, continuously across the entire organization. And the key to succeeding with value stream management in Safe is applying those lean thinking principles to every single value stream. As such, this new article is organized around the 5 lean thinking principles you saw previously. And it does a great job of explaining to leaders the role that they have to play in taking ownership of this and supporting improvements throughout the entire end-to-end delivery lifecycle so that we can ultimately maximize business outcomes. And finally, in this theme, I want to say something about the Value Management Office, the VMO. Now, the VMO is an emerging term for the Agile PMO. And many enterprises have discovered that centralized decision-making and traditional mindsets can really undermine the move to lean Agile practices. As a result, some enterprises have abandoned the PMO approach and are now distributing all the responsibilities to arts and solution trains. However, many organizations are better served by redesigning the traditional PMO to become a VMO. After all, the people in the PMO have specialized skills, they have the knowledge, the relationships with managers, executives, and other key stakeholders that mean they're extremely effective in helping support the change to the ways of working. Now, in Safe 6.0, you'll see us refer to the VMO in articles and other related courses. And now on to the 4th theme, enhancing business agility with SAFe across the business. Now, this is another theme that we're truly excited about because we've seen time and time again that organizations that take SAFe outside of technology into the business are the ones that are truly successful with achieving business agility. And after all, if we can't sell, deliver, and operate our solutions, we ultimately can't deliver value to our customers. But what we've been able to do in this release is work with our customers and understand the patterns that they've used to bring SAFe into the business. And that's what this theme describes. And that work has revealed 5 patterns that you can see on the slide here. It starts with what we call a business-enabled art. Simply an art that may have 1 or more business teams on it required to develop the business solution that they're working on. The second pattern is what we're calling an agile business train. This one's a bit different. There's some nice examples in the article from the healthcare industry here, where they're using the organizational construct of a train, not only to develop, but also operate and run their business. The third one in the bottom right is what we call a combined portfolio. We've seen a number of organizations now applying lean portfolio management practices, not only to their development activities, but also to their operational activities. And then, of course, we have an agile business function. Enterprises where they aspire to roll out lean and agile ways of working across an entire marketing function, for example, or across an entire legal department. And then finally, the agile executive team. Executive teams that are using agile ways of working to think about how they organize, how they define, communicate, and how they align the organization to the strategy. And all of this, we're pleased to say, is supported by a set of experience reports from the field on our Safe Beyond IT homepage. The Safe Beyond IT homepage provides access to articles about real-world business agility experiences contained within the operational value streams. Contributed and written by SAFe professionals, they describe their successes and challenges in extending lean, agile, and SAFe practices to areas such as finance, marketing, human resources, legal, operations, and other functions beyond IT. And we hope these experience reports will be useful for you as you look to apply these practices in the business inside your organization. Now on to the 5th theme, building the future with AI, big data, and cloud. Now, Safe 6.0 offers new guidance on harnessing these 3 innovative technologies that dramatically change the nature of software and systems development. Applying these technologies is becoming critical for competing now and in the future. And on the Safe 6.0 big picture, you'll find 3 icons behind which you'll find the 3 brand new articles. AI can be applied at all levels of SAFe to build intelligent customer solutions, automate value stream activities, and improve customer insights. And therefore, you'll find the AI icon on the spanning palette. Big data provides fact-based insights that portfolio stakeholders use to make strategic business decisions. And as such, the big data icon is at the portfolio level. And then the cloud icon is within Essential SAFe, connected to the DevOps icon, because it enables DevOps capabilities, which fuel the continuous delivery pipeline and help agile teams and arts accelerate the delivery of value. So let's look at each of the articles in turn. The AI article provides a foundational context for applying AI in the enterprise and how SAFe can accelerate the successful adoption of this technology. Key topics covered in this article include AI as a competitive advantage, highlighting the nature of AI's business value and what is required to build a sustained advantage over the competition. Applying AI to achieve better business results. This section outlines typical application opportunities for AI within operational and development value streams, and capabilities that enterprises can directly embed in the products and services delivered to the end user. The article talks about understanding the fundamental types of AI, describing common AI concepts and architectures that technology and business leaders must understand to apply AI within their enterprise. And finally, it talks about success factors for AI initiatives, describing essential practices and a decision framework for successful AI initiatives within SAFE. Now, big data, of course, refers to the roles and practices required to collect, manage, normalize, and deliver large data sets that help enterprises make more informed, fact-based decisions. And big data has therefore become critically important across the entire enterprise. It influences business decisions, it helps create better products, improves product development, and drives operational efficiencies. And therefore, this article describes data's critical role in the enterprise, the data ops process to manage and deliver extensive volumes of data, and how to apply data ops in SAFE. Specifically, it talks about the challenges that organizations face in the volume, the velocity, and the variety of the big data, and how data ops provides a unifying approach to address these. Finally, big data practices are outlined as part of the data ops lifecycle, and guidance is provided on how to balance the need for a centralized data function alongside shared services to support the wider organization. And then finally, the cloud article. The cloud is everywhere, of course. It fuels digital business, providing the virtual on-demand processing and storage services, providing cost-effective and scalable infrastructure and operations. And SAFE enterprises can harness the power and ubiquity of the cloud to really increase agility in all areas of the organization. Now, the article describes 3 specific strategies, common patterns that work together with SAFE to enable enterprise scale agility. The first of these is cloud for infrastructure and operations. And this describes how to automate the end-to-end infrastructure lifecycle and deliver runtime environments that can be provisioned, scaled, and retired on demand. This approach significantly accelerates the flow of value. The second strategy is cloud for DevOps, allowing Agile teams to set up, use, and tear down secure, compliant, cloud-based resources to support continuous solution innovation. And finally, cloud for AI, enabling enterprises to really reinvent their solutions to achieve new levels of competitive advantage. It provides the massive computing power required to fuel the development of sophisticated machine learning models, which in turn drive intelligent AI-based solutions that generate new value for the business. We hope all 3 of these articles provide you the guidance you need to take a significant step forward in applying these technologies within your enterprise. And now on to the final theme, delivering better outcomes with Measure and Grow and OKRs. Now, we know that business agility sets new performance standards for organizations. It requires fast, effective responses to emerging business opportunities. However, to improve speed and agility, leaders, teams, and business stakeholders need a way to reliably measure the current state and then identify what they can do to improve. And therefore, choosing what and how to measure is a critical enabler of continuously improving business performance. You'll see in SAFE 6.0 that the metrics article has been renamed to Measure and Grow. And Measure and Grow is an approach that SAFE enterprises use to evaluate progress towards business agility and determining the next improvement actions. This is our model, if you like, to helping organizations understand where they are in this journey towards achieving business agility. Now, we introduced this model in SAFE 5, but we continue to invest in it in SAFE 6.0. And this model talks about 3 key measurement domains that are critical to understand where you are on this journey. The first one is competency. How proficient are we in the skills needed to achieve business agility? And we measure this, of course, with the SAFE assessments. The second one is flow. How effective and efficient are we at delivering value to our customers, measured by the flow metrics? And the third measurement domain is outcomes. Are we meeting the outcomes of our business stakeholders and our customers? Now, staying within that outcomes measurement domain, we're also delighted to announce the addition of OKRs in SAFE 6.0, a brand new spanning padded icon. Objectives and key results, OKRs, of course, is a collaborative framework for establishing clear goals and measurable outcomes. And what we've seen is that when this is used within SAFE, OKRs can really help to support the core values of transparency and alignment between the enterprise and the portfolio strategy, and then the work of the Agile release trains and Agile teams who are delivering on that strategy. Additionally, we've also seen that OKRs can be applied to measure organizational improvements, such as delivering the desired outcomes associated with a SAFE transformation. And while this OKR article describes opportunities to apply OKRs in SAFE, Please be aware that their usage is optional, apart, of course, from the strong recommendation to use them to describe the portfolio's strategic themes. So let me run you through those 3 use cases very briefly. So let's have a look at that first use case, applying OKRs to help with strategic alignment. What we see is that strategic themes often don't impact all value streams in a portfolio equally. The work to execute against a particular strategic theme will differ from one value stream to another. And therefore, it can be helpful to create specific OKRs for each value stream that align with the portfolio strategic themes. And of course, for large value streams that contain multiple arts, this process can be repeated to create a set of OKRs that define the goals for each specific art. What this approach allows for is that those at each level of the organization start to see the direct impact of their work against those OKRs. And contrast this, of course, with the situation where goals are typically defined only at the highest level within the organization. And in the same manner that portfolio strategic themes influence key decision-making, these art and value stream OKRs become a critical tool for solution and product managers and solution and system architects when developing their roadmaps and exploring and prioritizing new opportunities. The second use case is to use OKRs in epic and lean business case definition, specifically when clarifying the desired business outcomes. The business outcomes, of course, are those measurable benefits that the business can anticipate if the epic hypothesis is correct. Applying OKRs to describe business outcomes ensures that they're outcome focused and quantifiable. And you can see an example on the slide here. OKRs used in this manner as part of an epic hypothesis statement or lean business case may also end up informing the portfolio prioritization conversations. And the third and final use case is to apply OKRs to establish the outcomes and objectives for the SAFe transformation itself. In this scenario, the OKRs, of course, will predominantly fall into the improving work category, typically focusing on improving quality, time to market, and predictability. And applying OKRs to the SAFe transformation also forces early discussion around expected benefits. And this in turn generates the alignment and transparency that's needed to create the commitment to the journey that's about to begin. So we hope you find this new guidance on OKRs very useful and that the use cases may be applicable in your context. Now that concludes the review of the 6 primary release themes. I now want to cover some other important changes in SAFe 6.0. Now you'll notice on the SAFe 6.0 big picture that we've added a Kanban system around the team backlog. This means now that all backlogs are visualized and managed via a Kanban system. Consequently, we've been able to combine the backlog and Kanban articles to a single backlog article to simplify guidance and remove redundancy. And additionally, in the visualizations of the Kanban systems found in many articles, we've replaced the backlog state with a ready state. This helps to reduce the confusion between the state that was appearing on the Kanban system and the backlog itself, since the backlog, of course, contains all the work that is shown in the Kanban system. There have also been a number of changes to the spanning palette. OKRs, as was just mentioned, has been added to the palette, and milestones has now been merged into an updated roadmap article and removed from the palette. AI, as you've seen previously, was added to the palette, and Lean UX was actually moved off the spanning palette to the body of the big picture, sitting next to customer centricity and design thinking, helping to highlight its relationship and importance to those 2 practices. And finally, as you know, Measure and Grow was renamed from Metrics. Based on field experience and customer feedback, we made some significant updates to the articles that appear at this level to better describe how solution trains manage planning and deliver solutions. The new pre-plan article replaces the previous pre-PI planning article, and it describes the solution train activities necessary to prepare arts for PI planning. The brand new coordinate and deliver article replaces the previous post-PI planning article, and this article now describes the practices required to deliver large solutions across multiple arts and suppliers in a solution train. We hope you'll find this brand new guidance useful, particularly for those of you who are developing large and complex cyber-physical solutions. And then finally, some changes to terminology. Throughout the framework, program terminology has been replaced. Program is often associated with more traditional project and program management approaches, and standardizing this terminology improves clarity and simplicity. And you can see examples in the table there. And similarly, at the large solution level, we've been able to standardize and simplify the terminology used, as you can see on the slide here. Perhaps one terminology change to note is that solution architect/engineer has simply been replaced by solution architect. And then finally, a few additional terminology changes. We've changed daily stand-up to Team Sync to be consistent with the other ART events. Lean Systems and Solutions Engineering is now simply known as Lean Systems Engineering. The Scrum of Scrums is going to be known as the Coach Sync, again, to reflect that optionality that exists in the Scrum Master Team Coach role. And finally, Scrum XP, as you saw previously, has been replaced by Safe Scrum. And that concludes this review of what's new in Safe 6.0. We really hope you enjoy exploring everything that's new in this latest version of Safe, and that it supports you and your enterprise to work differently and build the future. Thank you very much.